Smartest people you never knew about. Marilyn Vossavant. Columnist and author Marilyn Vossavant made history in 1986 when she was named in the Guinness Book of World Records as the person with the highest IQ. At the age of 10 she scored 228 on the Stanford Binet test, a cognitive ability and intelligence test used to diagnose intellectual prowess in young children. In the wake of her newfound fame, Parade magazine launched the popular Ask Marilyn column where she solves puzzles and answers questions on various subjects, which still runs today. The most famous of them was the Monty Hall math problem, which she answered correctly in 1990. And in 1989 New York Magazine called her and husband Robert Jarvik, who designed the first successful artificial heart, the smartest couple in New York. Nikola Tesla. Inventor and engineer, Nikola Tesla was acclaimed for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current (AC) electricity supply system that we still use today. In the early 1880s Tesla worked under Thomas Edison for a short time before he struck out on his own to strengthen his electrical AC discoveries in an effort to provide free energy for the entire world. But after a series of unsuccessful attempts to go it alone, and with Edison repeatedly stopping him in his tracks, Tesla wound up pretty much penniless. He passed away in 1943, but it wasn't until 1960 that his name came back into public knowledge. Thanks to the General Conference on Weights and Measures choosing to name the magnetic flux density unit, the Tesla. Today, we know the name thanks to Tesla Motors, the car company which makes electric cars. William James Titus. If you judge intelligence by IQ score alone, William James Titus was one of the smartest men to have ever lived. In fact, his astounding IQ score of 275 outshines most others on this list. For reference, the average IQ is between 90 and 110 and over 120 is considered superior, so that's extremely impressive. At age 11, he entered Harvard University as one of the youngest students in the school's history. He earned his Bachelor of Arts degree, cum laude, on June 18, 1914, at age 16. After graduation, he had a brief stint as a math professor before going into hiding to avoid public scrutiny. In July 1944, Titus' landlady found him unconscious in his small Boston apartment. He had suffered a massive stroke and was pronounced deceased at the age of 46. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci is one of the most celebrated artists of all time, creating masterpieces such as The Last Supper, The Vitruvian Man and the Mona Lisa. However, Da Vinci was more than an artist. He was a scientist, mathematician, inventor and biologist. After his demise, his journals from the late 15th century were discovered, revealing a spirit of scientific inquiry and inventiveness that were centuries ahead of their time. For instance, many people believe the modern-day helicopter, which wasn't built until the 1940s, was actually depicted in his sketches. And one of the earliest descriptions of the mesentery, the newest organ to be discovered in the human body in the last couple of years, was made by him all those years ago. Far from just a talented artist, Da Vinci is one of the most diversely talented individuals in the history of our species. Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton's wide range of discoveries, including his groundbreaking work on the laws of motion and gravity, formed the basis for modern physics. But arguably his true genius comes from how he applied those theories to the universe at large, explaining the motions of the sun and planets in a way that had never been done before. His book, Principia Mathematica, still remains one of the most influential texts in recorded history. In it, Newton breaks down the workings of the solar system, explaining the nature of planetary orbits and the pull between heavenly bodies. By describing why the moon orbits the Earth and not vice versa, the book literally changed the way people saw the world. Kim Il-sung. With an IQ score of 210, South Korean civil engineer Kim Ung-yong was recorded by the Guinness World Records as one of the most intelligent people of all time. Born in 1962, Ung-yong was only 4 months old when he started talking, and by the age of 3, when most kids begin to understand one language, he could speak Korean, English, Japanese and German. By 4 years old, he had penned 2 short books of essays. A year later, an article was published about his extraordinary intelligence in Look magazine, and after reading it, a teacher from Grant High School in Los Angeles wrote to Ung-yong. In February 1967, his father applied 5-year-old Ung-yong to be enrolled at the high school. He went to the United States to study and later ended up working for NASA for the better part of a decade. At age 18, he quit his job at NASA and moved back to South Korea. He is currently a professor at Chongbuk National University.